Why do you look ugly?
I'm always ugly.
You're right. You know what may change your appearance?
What?
The full moon.
Or hear me out. You, the people at home, for 99 cents a day, you can help Devin from not being ugly by donating to Devin is ugly as AF.com. Just 99 cents a day. We'll keep the ugly away.
Speaking of Devin, I got a question for you.
All right?
This probably should be off camera. Are you also putting these in the YouTube queue?
Yes.
You are?
Yep.
So you're putting popcorn buckets as well?
Yep.
Even though I don't see them?
You don't see him?
Let's see. Fluently Aspect, Jacqueline Trigg. I'm just gonna keep scrolling down until I see popcorn buckets.
Go to the bucket. Oh, you're not on YouTube Create, are you?
No.
Oh yeah, no.
Have you recently been doing it?
Yes, I've recently been doing it, so that way they were released all on the same day.
Okay, when does it start? Whatever show.
Please
I'm sure
hold.
that
Go ahead and tell them what we watched.
well, I was doing a whole thing where it was like, you would better, you look better if you transform with the full moon, like a werewolf and all that. We watched the Wolfman 2010.
What? We didn't watch the 1941 version?
Actually, we did.
Where can we
You can
say
go
it?
check it. It's screening at Devin's mom's house.
Whoa. I thought it was on Tubi, not my mom's house.
I don't know.
Not Tubi,
Tubi.
sorry.
This one wasn't on Tubi.
It was on Amazon. Sorry.
Yeah. For a limited time. That's why we gotta like you get her going. What? You can be cheesy and like promote you getting free money for I guess plastic surgery, and I can't be cheesy in like a pun.
Oop. Okay, they start releasing with the Hunchback of Notre Dame or no Notre Dame.
Okay, that's an interesting spot to start with too.
It it was.
So yeah, but no, we watched Wolfman 2010. Hannah's home. Sorry.
Hannah.
Yep, she can't hear you.
Oh no, Hannah.
So
Hannah.
if you could,
Hannah. Kyle called me ugly.
she can't hear you. She can't
He
hear
says
you,
I have
Trey.
no friend. He says I have no friends on Fortnite.
But you don't. You don't play Fortnite.
He says I don't have no friends on Fortnite.
When was the last time you played Fortnite? Because I'm pretty sure it was like when it came out.
Yeah, you dude, like 4 years ago when I moved down here. Oh, I can't hear you.
You know how I know that?
How?
Because I was playing it with you. We had like a bunch of different TVs hooked up in different rooms in the dorm. We were all playing on different screens with each other.
Dude, it's just so easy now. Like all these middle schoolers play it, and it's like, dude, I need a challenge.
Take on a middle schooler. We'll see what how you do.
I
That'll be your
I win,
challenge.
dude. I tell these kids all the time. I say, Coach will challenge you anytime, anywhere. Just bring the console. I'm ready.
Yeah, tell them to bring the console to the school to disrupt class.
I know that won't happen. My principal will have a cow.
I would say that's how you get fired, my guy.
I mean that too. But oh, I gotta tell you a cool story. Off screen before we call it a night. But anyways, we watched Wolfman 2010.
Could you recap the movie, and then we'll go over where the 41 version and the 10 version vary.
Okay, so to be honest with you, this version is kind of like the 41 version, but it's more like um. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Having some stomach problems. Mm, I'm so sorry.
The moon is
Yeah, it's the moon.
changing.
Well, it's not changing. I've been having stomach problems.
I was making a joke on you were turning into a werewolf.
Oh god, if I'm turning into a werewolf,
You know, the joke loses its fun if I have to explain the joke.
somebody at home might not get it.
They're listening to an episode about lycanthropy.
We're not watching 420 Bong yet.
I don't even know how you got that correlation.
You said can blow.
Lycanthropy.
Oh, okay, they're mine.
That's not in my notes, but it can be.
No, don't put it in your notes. Anyway, focus, Devin. Focus. So the 2010 version kind of plays out like the 1941 version, except we have a more, I would say, you know, 2010, man, 2010 cinema. You remember how we got, movies had that like dark and gritty, and you knew it was CGI, but it was nice CGI back in the day.
Hold on a second. 2010. What movies have we? Let's see. What movies did we do in 2010? Pretty sure one of the Captain Americas was in 2010, so was Thor.
Thor was
Right.
'09. Wait,
Um,
no, Thor had to
no,
be
it wasn't.
2000. Was it?
No. Percy Jackson, Twilight Saga Eclipse,
Oh
Iron Man 2.
yeah, Iron Man 2.
Oh, I guess that's it.
Really?
2011 was Captain America movies.
Oh, okay.
So,
But you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of like dark coloring filters on it, and like you could tell it was nonstop CGI, but it was like nice crispy CGI. So you were like, okay, this is not that bad, but you knew CGI.
no. I would argue that it was pretty good CGI. It did get choppy at bits.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it got choppy, and I'm like, okay, it pulled me out of the movie.
Okay. Um, you did not recap the movie. Basically, he comes Lawrence. Yeah, Lawrence Talbot comes back. Um, and he gets attacked by a wolf
Yep,
or a werewolf. He gets attacked,
just like in the
and he
41 version.
turns.
Dude, it took him forever to turn in this one too. That's what I hate about these movies. It takes them forever to turn.
You know, I feel that way about Jaws. They don't show the shark till much later in the movie.
Oh god, I hate Jaws. I hate it.
Jaw hates you.
I know Jaw hates me. I hate the ride too. The ride scare the
You're
ride at
not a
Universal.
good snack.
Why not?
That's why Jaw doesn't like you.
Oh, dude.
No, that's like a standard trope. You pull them in, and then boom, hook. We'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna recap the movie. This one, Lawrence is an actor. His brother, I can't remember what his brother is, but his brother gets attacked and killed, and so he goes back home for the funeral
Mm-hmm.
processions. His dad's stuffy white dude, which
He
makes
is.
sense for the time period. Um, um, you have the whole. I'm using the Romanian nomad situation,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it is handled moderately better. It's not like shoved down your throat. Um, yep. He's put into a asylum because I think he's the one killing people. He's
Dude,
viewed as
that was a.
dangerous, and they do like brutal tactics to get him to confess, and he wolfs out.
I thought that was a pretty good scene. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll get to that. I love this movie, but we'll get to that. He finds out his father was the actual wolf,
Yep.
a werewolf. Uh, and they go at it in like this big one-on-one battle, and he ends up dying in a hunt and all that.
Womp womp.
So yeah, I enjoyed this movie. Where it differs from the original, um, he comes, gets attacked by a wolf. They assume there's a killer or a wolf, and they end up killing John or Lawrence. Um, that's where they're similar.
Uh,
I loved the plot twist where his dad was the original. However, I do wish that it was genetic. I get where suddenly he's thrust upon it, but I would like the exploration in a movie at some point where it's genetic. They're a family, and they all have
ooh.
to cope with the affliction different ways. I think that would have been interesting. We haven't seen that in a Wolfman movie.
Hear me out for the people at home. For 99 cents a day, you can start our first random hour movie, Wolf Genetic Clan. Coming out never.
Especially with that name.
I don't know.
Oof.
Oof. Hey, we've
Um.
heard worse movie titles.
Okay, shut up. I'm gonna have you talk in a minute. Devin,
Yep.
you are a big action movie fan.
Yes.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the action in this one better than the 41 version.
Obviously, I thought it did a good job at combining horror
Uh,
and action, especially when he's a wolf. Like the way he moves, the way he acts, it
mm,
is phenomenal on how it's done. Um, the way he wolfs out is one of my favorite werewolf transformations in cinema for me.
really?
Mhm. Like when I think of like a werewolf or a wolf man, this is what I think of. It's really good. It's a mix between the two. There's a lot of practical and CGI elements in it, so it's fairly well balanced until you get to John Talbot, his father.
You know what I mean?
Explain.
Just with the CGI, and it's just like you can just tell frame by frame when it got choppy, and it's just like oof. But I don't know if it was just because I was streaming it on Amazon Prime, and I was like, "There's no way this got through." But then I was like, "Man, it's 2010." You know what I mean? Like we've gotten so much better.
Can I make an argument on why you should bump it up a little bit?
Sure.
So the version we watched was not the theatrical release. It was the extended. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, the
Um,
unrated version.
yes, which had more stuff. It includes some like background foreshadowing. Um, it included some scenes. The fight scene wasn't as well polished, I don't believe, as the theatrical release.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Now I feel.
Most of my grievances with this movie is in the fight scene between his dad and Lawrence.
Uh huh.
Because there's just points where you're like, oh, they're using a practical suit for this scene. You can obviously tell. Um,
Right.
but
And where they polished it a little bit polished with CGI, which we see nowadays. Which
mhm.
I watching some behind the scenes, even the stuff we've got now in 2024, 2025, I enjoy the blend, I could say blending, but combination of CGI with practical personally.
um, so here's a note about the movie. The unrated director's cut was almost 17 minutes longer. Features a lot of new footage, but only tiny few more frames of violence in the middle of the film, as well as one victim a different a different, somewhat violent death. Looking at other effects, censorship seems unlikely, especially the first half features numerous new scenes that make the movie a little more complete.
Mm.
Opening as well, characters are much more fleshed out. Um, what is shown as a 1 minute summary, the theatrical cut, is now much longer and also slightly different. Relation between Gwen and Lawrence, as well as somewhat tense relationship between his father, Sir John, make a lot of mysterious stranger who gives Lawrence his cane, uh, which is not present in the theatrical cut. However, surely observant viewers have noticed the remaining assistant to Mr. Von Sydow amidst the ending credits. Uh, the rest of the extensions are a matter of Anthony Hopkins, who plays a much darker character in the DC. So yeah, that's primarily where they vary, and that's why I
Mm.
had us do this one because there's more content.
Yep.
It fleshes out the story more, um, but you can see where it suffers a little bit.
Correct. Oh man.
But you ready for my other notes?
Yep.
Um, the changing of the cane was awkward in my opinion.
I didn't think so.
Really, just oh, you can have it, dude. That's an expensive looking cane. You're just look, you like it, keep it, and then poof, Batman's away,
I mean, free
and it
cane.
and he comes back later with a cane. Like, well, he's dead now. I guess you don't need this no more. Time for a new victim. Hopefully, they can also be conveniently a werewolf for me to give this to.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that way,
Um, the movie takes place in 1891.
just like the first one. No, no, the first one we watched like what 1910, 1920.
Mm-hmm. Um,
What did I say? No, what did I
I don't know
say?
why I put this, but dead people in portraits.
Oh, in the house when, dude. Yeah, that hallway where it's just nothing but the ancestors, and I'm just like, ooh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I do know. The plot twist of the father. I thought that was a really cool twist. It makes sense even from the 1941 version.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that working out and being very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is possibly one of my favorite werewolf transformations, as mentioned. Choppy CGI at parts,
Yep,
as
we already said
mentioned,
that.
but not horrible. Not the worst we've seen. Would you?
What the hell? I didn't even do nothing.
I don't know.
It's good. It did this for Alien vs. Covenant. We were good when I watched it. There was no
And
three.
Cross the Line Paranormal and another alien one.
Yeah, it's good. It all came together. It's fine. I didn't even do nothing.
So much editing.
It'd be all right. I got it.
Um, but yeah, I don't think this is the worst we've seen by far.
Right. No, it's not. I say it's one of the better monster movies we watched so far.
Um,
Until we get to 1999 Mummies with Brandon Fraser.
we'll get to that. You haven't even watched the first Mommy movie, so
No, I haven't.
I am almost done with the older Mommy movies too. Two more to
Are you?
go. Hmm.
Gee.
I watched most of them in one day.
You are a binge watcher.
I'm royalty when it comes to binge watching. Um, on the CGI thing though, I don't like how the mouth stays open and the tongue it just wiggles around at some points with the
Wiggle,
practical
wiggle,
effects.
wiggle, 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 wiggle,
That was
wiggle.
like one pet peeve I had.
That was the one pet peeve you've had.
Mhm. Uh, Lacane's sword bends at one point, showing that it's a prop sword.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
Um, womp womp.
Yeah, womp womp.
No, that wasn't for the sword. That's for you.
Why you say that? Oh, because of
You're about to suffer. We're both about to suffer.
what do you say that?
Because I'm going to talk about asylum conditions and surgery theaters.
Ah, we're about to suffer.
You know I had to get those fun facts in.
Ah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, you glitched out again.
Go ahead.
Okay, so surgery theaters are often done in front of a bunch of like medical students and other medical people. Kind of like they did where they would like parade them around and do it in front of people. Also, during this time period, um, Tim, did you wash your hands the last time you went to the bathroom?
Yes.
They did not do that back then because they did not believe germs were real. In fact, the guy that came up with the idea of germs was locked in an asylum because they thought he was crazy.
Thank God for modern medicine.
Nothing like good old history. It never was bad.
Bullshit.
Anyway, time to talk about bad asylum conditions.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
It was bullshit. It was bullshit, Devin.
It was the
Um,
bullshit.
so you would be locked in there. A lot of times, if you couldn't be fixed, like up here, they would lobotomize you.
Jesus Christ.
This was often done to make women more compliant.
We talked about this in a future episode, in a past episode on one of the other movies that had an asylum scene. I remember you telling me this.
Indeed, I'm gonna keep talking though
Go ahead.
because medical conditions in these was appalling.
Hmm.
You'd kind of just be thrown into a room with rats.
Oh, it was the movie Frankenstein. It was another monster movie. Frankenstein from the Monster from Hell.
Yes. So the conditions would be awful. You'd get sepsis, bacterial infections, you name it. You would not be taken care of. You'd regularly get beaten. Fun fact, if you have enough money, you could go to one of these and just torture people.
I feel like we saw that in Frankenstein the Monster from Hell.
Yeah, if you got enough money, you can do anything back in the olden days.
Ooh.
As long as you're white and male.
It was a different time.
Doesn't mean it was a good time.
It was not a good time, but that was the time.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that's primarily it. The torture that we saw, not completely out of the realm of medical treatment for the time, unfortunately.
Right.
Well, that's pretty much all I've got. I covered it more extensively in Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. So, you know what that means, Devin?
What you got?
What would you rate this movie?
You know?
I'm going to go first.
Go ahead.
I'm going to rate it a 9.25 out of
Really?
10. Yes. I really
You
love this movie. It does really good. The only thing that I think it lacks is practical effects and CGI, which are going to degrade as time goes on,
mm-hmm. Which
which I'm not going to fault it for that.
right.
Uh, but parts where it wasn't polished up, even though it's a director's cut, I'm still going to take off that little tiny section off for it.
Okay.
The story was really good. Action and horror combination was phenomenal.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of agree with you. I'm gonna give it a 9.25. It was a good story. I pretty much have the same points as you, and I just agree with you. It was a good story, great cast. Much better than the 1941 version, but you can't hold the 1941 version against its own because I mean that's like an almost 100-year difference. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
agree with you.
I mean, I do not think the 41 version was as good as this.
Right.
Uh, but I do think that both are good in their own right. For the time, The Wolfman is good, but I don't think it's the best film for its time, you know?
Right.
Um, sorry, I'm trying to find where there it is. And would you like to know what else we rated
Out of
as
19,
an 18.5 out of 20?
there can't be that many. Go ahead.
Your mom too, your mom the third time, your mom as a waitress, your mother,
One day we're gonna find that movie that says it, and
your mom. There's the only thing I could find from a mom is Mommy Dearest.
ugh.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. And Your Mom, which is a short film.
Yeah, ma'am.
So, um, sorry, I'm typing things, brain not working. But no, other things: Black Widow, 5 Feet Apart, Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah. Wow.
Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, Raya and the Last Dragon, and The Sandlot.
Okay. Yeah. All good movies. All really good movies.
That is everything else that we've rated at a 18.5 out of 20.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, um, well, that pretty much wraps up the episode. You mean hit the outro?
hold up, I don't know if my points is right. Hold on a second. Let me check. I see 9.25 plus
He's gonna do math.
9.25 is 18.5. Yeah.
He's gotta do math, 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 and he was right. Yeah, go Kyle. You did math.
Yep, I learned something.
All right. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of this podcast, come check me out on my sports podcast, More Sports, the sports podcast for everybody, as well as check out Kyle's show, The Random Hour, where we just do random things, and we've had some awesome guests come up. Was that
Sorry, a dog barked.
that was a dog? You guys don't own a dog.
It was in our apartment complex. I didn't say it was our dog. We have a cat that stuck
Je-
her butt in my camera earlier.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I must
You were
say, when,
there. It was at you
yeah, I know. I must say, when'd you get a dog?
a couple seconds ago, apparently.
Yeah, for real. You can check out Kyle's show, The Random Hour, where we do random things, but we invite so many awesome guest stars on this year, from streamers to bands, you name it, we've done it. And of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Random Corporate, where you can watch the video version of all these shows as well, and some original content on there. And you can follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitter at Rando Corporate One, and on Instagram as Rando Boys, Rando Boys as well. Link link trees in the description as well in this episode. Follow that. Enjoy the cringe.
I didn't know that.
What?
The link tree episode link was in the description.
I thought it was.
No,
Note the editing Devin put link tree description in there for him.
you did. You said that with another one. I don't know if you did or didn't.
I gotta start using my board again. Anyways, my last words are gonna be, this Wolfman was better.
Okay, you ready for a third episode?
I gotta really use the restroom. My
I gotta
stomach.
get up for work at some point.
Yeah.